Yes guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video is going to be slightly different to FIFA. We are going to be introducing Sorare to the channel. I'm going to be doing this sort of content very often, maybe daily, maybe once every couple of days or something, because I'm in love with this platform. I've been on this platform for about 3 or 4 months now, so I've got decent-ish experience. I'm learning every single week, but today's video, boys, I'm going to be showing you the basics of Sorare. Basically, I'm going to be showing you all the different card types, how you can play free to play. You can literally start free to play if you wanted to, or if you're really rich, if you want to jump straight on in. I'll just show you the basics, the scoring matrix and stuff like that. Now, before we start, I want to quickly say before this video starts, none of this is going to be financial advice at all, because this is real money we're talking, so I don't want any of you guys losing a lot of money. You've got to do your research. Trust me, I've lost quite a bit of money on some players because I've not done enough research. And yeah, I mean, reading up, watching YouTube videos and getting as much information about Sorare is key before you go splash a load of cash. I think that's obvious, but yeah, do not take anything I say in this video as financial advice. So now let's jump in to what exactly Sorare is. So Sorare is a fantasy football based game where you can win prizes. Whether you play free to play, you can actually win prizes on free to play, or you can buy cards where you can earn prizes as well. So whether you play free to play or you buy cards, they are both an option. I know I do keep calling them cards, but they are officially NFTs, which really put me off when I first come onto Sorare. I found this platform actually last year, and I didn't end up coming on here because it was quite overwhelming. There's a lot of different things you got to learn, and above all, the NFTs, so it put me off a little bit. However, I honestly think NFTs are going to be the next big thing. I think a lot of games are going to start introducing NFTs. I know a football game that's coming out in the next 2 years. It's called Goals. They are going to be introducing NFTs to their game as well. NFTs with utility, where you can win money, win prizes, basically pay to play or whatever. I think it's incredible. The NFTs where it's just like an artwork that have no utility, it's just, I don't see the point in them. But these are officially NFTs that you can use. So when you buy them, so let's say we bought Brett Halsey. If I was to buy him, I would be able to keep him forever. That's the great thing about it. Whereas on FIFA, if you have a card on FIFA, you've only got him for that full 1 year game cycle, then you lose him. You lose him after a year game cycle, and then the next FIFA will come out, FIFA 23, and you got to build up your cards again. With Sorare, if I buy Brett, you keep him no matter what. Even if I buy the old card design, as you guys can see, there's a 21 to 22 top left and a 21 to 22. Even if I go to buy like a 2019 to 20 card, I can still keep that forever, and it'll still have the use to win prizes. The next thing to think about is Sorare is actually tied to crypto. So you guys have got to, if you want to deposit into Sorare, you have got to buy Ethereum. So this platform is based around Ethereum. As you guys can see right there next to the £5.70, this Bruno Perez is currently going for 0.0037 Ethereum, and this is another reason why I was a little bit overwhelmed with starting Sorare. But it's very basic and very simple to understand. But this is where the risks do come in, because ETH/Ethereum can fluctuate so much in price. So of course there are risks when you're depositing and getting involved in Sorare. So with that now out the way, boys, before you guys do sign up, or anything, use my link in the description, because you guys can basically get a bonus over the next 150 days. As long as within 150 days you guys buy 5 cards from the new buy auction. So all you have to do is go to market, new card auctions. You don't do it from the manager's sales, otherwise it doesn't count. If you go to the new card auctions and buy 5, any card design you want, whether you go limited, rare, super rare or unique. Obviously limiteds are the cheapest. Rares is where I started off, which we'll go into us in a second once again. And you can also buy a bundle. If you buy a bundle, then that'll be a 5 straight out the tin. Some of the bundles can be pretty sick. If you buy 5 of these, you basically get an extra free limited on top of that. That limited could be worth really terribly. It could be worth a fiver, like £5, or it could be worth, you could get as lucky as getting like a £2,000 one. I personally got a £25 one. I'll show you the one that I got. So I used Nepenthes' link. I actually bought 5 rare cards because I started off pretty big, and I got Javier Cabrera, which at the time was worth about 25 quid. I think he's gone down in price a little bit because he hasn't played recently because he's injured. But yeah, do not sign up to Sorare without an affiliate link, because you're missing out on a great deal. My link will be at the top of the description. So right now, as of recording, there is currently 5 different card types on Sorare. So there is common, the common card type is the free-to-play aspect. These cannot be bought or sold. These are literally like untradables on FIFA basically. These are these like silver looking cards. If I filter by common, these are the free-to-play cards. So if you guys first sign up with my link, of course, then you will be given, I think it's 14 commons. You actually get to choose your favourite club before signing up. I highly recommend choosing a top club with a top goalkeeper. You're going to find out very soon that goalkeepers are absolutely key. So the Premier League actually don't have licensing on Sorare right now, which is a big thing. Hopefully we can eventually get the licensing. The only team that does have licensing, I believe, from the Premier League is Liverpool. They got the licensing a couple of years ago. So I actually chose Liverpool as my favourite club, mainly because of Alisson. So getting a good goalkeeper is key. So whether you choose Liverpool, Real Madrid, PSG don't have the best situation. Bayern Munich could be very good. So it's great to get a great goalkeeper. So yeah, that's the first card design. The common / casual card designs are the free to play. These can't be bought, can't be sold or anything like that. So the ones that can be bought, if we go over to the cards, right, so the limiteds are these gold cards which I've just talked about. These can be bought. These are usually where people start off because they're more affordable. Don't get me wrong, like if I want Mbappe, let me quickly show you Mbappe's limited card. He's probably one of the best cards on the game, as you can imagine, in real life. One of the best players in the world right now. His limited card is going for around £2,000, which is crazy. It is crazy. It's a lot of money. But there's a lot more affordable options. So let me give you an example. Let's go Lucas Hernandez. He's a top centre-back on this game. Probably one of the best centre-backs on the game, to be fair. He's more affordable. He's like £200, which again is quite a lot. But then again, if you want someone even more affordable, let's go to my gallery. I bought Willy Orban for £66, as you guys can see there. And Willy Orban is very capable of good scores. So the limiteds are 1 out of 1,000 cards. So 1,000 cards, well, up to 1,000 cards get released every single season. So there could be up to 1,000 of each of these cards minted. So as you guys can imagine, there's more supply, which means they're a little bit cheaper. If we now jump into the rares, these are out of 100. So only 100, up to 100 get released every single season. So as you guys can see, there's the 2020 to 2021 design there of this guy, and there's also 21 to 22. So because the rares are out of 100, they are a lot more rare, as you can tell by the name, rare. So these are more expensive, of course, but with rares, of course, you can win bigger prizes than limited and free to play, of course. And the next card design are super rares. As you guys can tell by the name, they are more rare than rares themselves. So the blue card design is better than the rares. They're slightly above. These again, even more expensive. These are only out of 10, so only 10 cards get released. So these are way more rare, and once again, we'll be able to bring you in bigger rewards. And then the most expensive cards by an absolute country mile, we've got uniques. As you can tell by the name, there is literally only one card released per season. So only one of Sven comes, only one of Tahiri every single season. So as you guys can tell, they are very, very expensive. Let me put in, right, so Haaland unique. Have a guess while I'm trying to find it. Are you ready? This was the first Haaland released unique. He went for £507,000. That's real money. Now, once again, don't be put off by how expensive he is. Haaland is once again one of the most expensive cards on the game. Not loads of people will have him, especially budget managers like me. No chance. So common is the free to play. They can't be traded. However, limited, rares, super rares and uniques, they can all be bought, all be sold, and them four especially are most likely you're going to win rewards from, basically. So next up, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can actually play the game. So if you guys are just setting up, even if you've got a massive budget, if you guys are watching this and you are a billionaire, I highly recommend for the first few weeks / month, I highly recommend just play free to play, get used to the scoring matrix. So I'm going to show you guys how to play free to play. So if you hover over play, the current game week is game week 269 as of recording this right now. That's between the 10th and the 13th of May. So I'll put out a team, but for the up and coming game week, you can plan early basically. The deadline is 22 hours. So if we click on game week 270, you can have a look at my teams for the next game week basically. So the free to play aspect is going to be in the common competition. So the common competition is where you're going to be able to initially play for free. There's a lot of managers that enter. Usually there's up to about 100,000 as the platform keeps growing. If you guys are watching this a few months down the line, maybe there'll be like 200,000 managers entered. Who knows? It's going to be a lot of competition. But basically, you have got a 5-a-side team. So whether it's in common, limited, rare, super rare, whatever, you're going to be submitting a 5-a-side team. Now, of course, in the casual / common division, you can only submit common cards. So let's say we go with Nopper in goal. I've got all these to choose from. Let's go Tomori against Atalanta. You can see who they're playing against. So we'll go Royce, we'll go Neymar and Hatanaka. So I cannot use rare cards, I cannot use limited cards in the casual division. This is where you play free to play. So you submit your 5. When you first start off, you won't have as many commons as me, because you get a free common every single week. No matter how badly you do, you get a free common, which is really nice. It's a nice little addition, to be fair. So let's say we go with this. The captain, you want to captain your best player. So let's say Neymar. Hopefully he bags, well, usually he does. I captain Neymar most weeks. He's an incredible common to have, to be fair. Got him recently, love to see it. So there is the common. With the limited division, you cannot submit any common cards, of course. You've got to submit 5 limited cards. However, there's so many different divisions in limited. With common, there's only just one. With limited, you've got the All-Star division. This is where you can submit any league. So MLS, Premier League, Belgian Pro League, Liga and Bundesliga, Serie A. All of those leagues, no matter what it is, Chinese league, you can submit that into All-Star. So there's a lot of competition usually. It's usually where the most managers are entered. The one that's usually one of the most expensive leagues is the under-23s league. So they have to be 23 years old or younger as of the 1st of July 2021. So that's a lot more expensive. However, you can win some good under-23 cards from that. It's pretty sick. And then Champion Europe. So Champion Europe is like your top 5 leagues, your Premier League, Liga and Serie A, Bundesliga and La Liga. You can only submit them cards into there, so you won't be able to submit any Belgian Pro League or Turkish League into that. However, Challenger Europe is where you submit your Turkish League, your Belgian Pro League, and leagues like that. And then American League, you've got your North America teams and South America teams, and then your Asian teams as well. So there's a lot of different divisions with limited. It's pretty sick. You need 5 limited cards for that. However, into the rare division, this is where having a good common goalkeeper is absolutely essential. And I'm going to go into goalkeepers into a little bit of depth here, actually. I was going to only touch it a little bit, but goalkeepers are usually the most expensive part of Sorare. So even if you wanted a limited goalkeeper, let's go over to the manager sales. So manager sales, and we'll go to goalkeeper. So even if you wanted a limited goalkeeper, which limited's obviously cheaper than rares, if you want a playing limited goalkeeper, they can be up to £100 minimum usually, so it's the most expensive part of the team, whereas with defenders, midfielders, forwards, you can get way better budget options. The main reason goalkeepers are so expensive is because there's only one per team, of course, so that makes them a lot rarer and a lot more expensive. Now, going back to the rare division, the requirements for the rare division right now, it's going to change in August in the next 3 or 4 months, but for the next 4 months or so, the requirements are at least 4 rare cards, which of course you need 4 rare cards still, but you're allowed 1 common. So you're not allowed a limited, but you're allowed 1 common, which is a free to play card, which is sick, which is why I chose Liverpool. Having Alisson for this has won me quite a lot of money. Alisson is a beast in this division, and you can also play Pro as well. Pro's the super rare cards, so you can have at least 3 rare cards with at most 2 super rare cards as well, so they're the blue cards. But the commons, so where the commons come in really handy is, as you can imagine, rare goalkeepers, I still don't own one, because if you think limiteds are expensive, being an £100 minimum or whatever, rare goalkeepers can be like £500 to £1,000 minimum, and that is minimum. If you want Magnan, the AC Milan goalkeeper, he's like one of the best rare cards on the game. He's about £4,000, so he is expensive. So basically, being able to submit a common instead of buying a goalkeeper is such a good alternate. So what I usually do is I'll play Alisson. Alisson doesn't actually have a game. As you guys can see, it says NG. The reason why he has no game is because he's playing in the FA Cup final. Sorare don't cover the FA Cup. It's only the league-based games and Europa League, Champions League, Euros and World Cup, of course. But usually I'd put Alisson in, bang, and then I'd have my 4 rare cards. So my 4 rare cards, as of right now, a lot of you guys probably won't even know some of these cards, but we've got Hans Olsen, we've got Sven Kums from the Belgian Pro League, and I've got Adrissi from Cadiz, playing, and I think I'm going to go with Ginter from Mönchengladbach, who that's their final game of the season actually for the Bundesliga. But that's what I'd usually do. This is not going to win me rewards. This is not going to win me big rewards. However, if we go over to the prize pool on the left hand side, you can look at the prize pools. We're going to head over to the rare division and the all-star division. So only in the rare all-star division, there is what's called a threshold. So you'll hear a lot of people talking about thresholds when you're on Sorare. If you're starting to get involved, there's a thing called a threshold. So if you can hit 205 points, then you will basically win, as of right now, 0.01 Ethereum. And 205 points, I've not mentioned the scoring system at all yet, but 205 points is very, very achievable. And that's just for 0.01 ETH, which is really cheap at the minute. It's like £15.97, but usually it's around £25 usually. If you can hit 250 points, which again is very achievable, you can hit 0.02 Ethereum, and that is usually around £50. But right now, ETH's down a lot, so it's down at £31 right now. Of course, if you do really well in the leaderboards, which is hard with a common, and I'll show you why in a second, but if you come to top 630 to 211th, you'll get a tier 3 rare, which is tier 3 rare. If you look at the tier 3 rares, they can be anywhere from like £50 to one of the top ones. Let's go with Robin Nosh. Robin Nosh, I believe, is about £200-300, I believe, and that's for about £100-ish. Yeah, that's the tier 3s. If you have an insane game where you can get top 210, you'll get a tier 2 rare. Tier 2 rares are even better than tier 3s, of course. These can be up to, I believe, like £700-800, which can be incredible. And then, of course, you've got tier 1 rares, which are mad. Like, you can get some rares worth £1,000 or so. The ones at the top are usually the best ones. The ones at the bottom are not so good tier 1s. So if we go to someone random like Dela Cruz, if you got Dela Cruz as a tier 1 rare, he is worth right now about £500-ish, £400-500, which is still insane. And then what everyone's aiming for, the dream game week, would be if you can get a star rare, which is top 10 right now, from 4th to 10th would be a star rare. And then if you can podium, which is insane, not a lot of people can do it. Obviously only 3 people can do it out of thousands usually. So 3rd, 2nd and 1st, you get 0.25 Ethereum, which right now is about £399. And then on top of that, you get a star rare, which a star rare, you could get a Kimmich, you could get Messi, you could get Neymar, Mainanu's worth £4,000. Like, it's mad. So if you can put together a solid rare team, you could huge money like this. Like, if I won a star rare Messi, I could sell him for around £6,000, which is life-changing money. Now, the likelihood of actually winning one of those big rewards with a common is quite slim. The tax you have with using a common card in the rare division is, as you guys can see at the bottom here, you get a percentage boost. So you have a percentage boost on each card. So I have a 9.5% boost on Ginter. So let's say Ginter scores 50 points this week. I will get a 9.5% boost on top of that 50 points. So you might finish like 53, 54 points with a 9.5% boost. So that's pretty sick. My Olsen has like a 9% boost. He has a 9%. Comes has a 9% boost as well. And Idrissi has a 5% boost. And Alisson actually has a minus 40% boost. That is because in the rare division, as you guys can see, it says scarcity penalty. You actually get a minus 50 penalty. So let's say Alisson gets 70 points. He will get minus 40%. And the reason why it's actually minus 40%, as you guys can see down here, is because I do have a 10% bonus. So if I go to a previous game, we can show you how my scoring actually worked. These were the rares that I used. I used an MLS centre-back named Bill Taluma. We used Yangel Herrera from Espanyol, Lucas Haller, the Beast, as my forward. And we also used Idrissi as well. Now, the way the scoring matrix works is it's from 0 to 100. So a 0 score is the worst score you can get. You'd have to have a horrendous game to get 0. 100 is incredible. That's the best you can get. That's like insane territory. Now, the great thing about the scoring matrix on Sorare compared to a lot of fantasy websites is usually fantasy football, you only get points for a goal, an assist, a clean sheet, and stuff like that. But on Sorare, you do get points, obviously, for that. But on top of that, you can get an all-round score, basically. So an all-round score is everything outside of scoring and assisting and stuff. So if he creates a chance, so as you guys can see here, Lucas Haller for me created a big chance, so he got 3 points for that. which is pretty sick. He also had 2 attempted assists, which he gets 4 points. So there's a lot of things outside of goals, assists, clean sheets and stuff they can get points for. And you could actually get up to 100 score without getting a goal, an assist or something like that. So if you guys know a player in real life that's very good, maybe don't get a lot of goals and assists, but still you know they're going to create a lot of chances and stuff like that, you can check out their scores and they might be worth buying. So as you guys can see, Lucas Haller scored me 77 points out of 100, which is absolutely incredible. I did have a captain bonus on him as well, which earned me even more points. Idrissi had an okay game, like 50's like about average, 45's about below average, 36 is pretty garbage. And as you guys can see, my Nopper actually scored 52 points. Now, as you guys can see in the top right, we actually got 269.27 points. All of these combined with all the bonuses. These scores here don't actually add the bonuses. If you go to share and download image, it actually shows the exact bonus they got. I believe Lucas Haller actually got 100 points. He did. As you guys can see, we got the minus boost on Nopper. So Nopper actually scored 52. His normal card scored 52, but with the minus 40% or whatever it was, he got me 31. Bill Taluma with his boost got me 37. Lucas Haller, because I had him captain, got me 100 points, which was huge. Herrera got me 48, and then Idrissi got me 53. So all of them combined got me 269 points, which means that game week got me the second threshold. So we hit the 250 points, which got me 0.02 ETH. You can grind this twice a week because there's 2 game weeks every single week. And this is one of the most popular ways of grinding the game because it's quite affordable and you can actually earn your money back within a couple of months, to be fair. If you can get some good budget rares, which there's a lot of good budget rares at the minute, like a lot of rares are affordable. If you're bringing in around £30 to £50, it depends what the price of Ethereum is at the time, then yeah, you can quite easily earn your money back. So yeah, that threshold is only in the All-Star Rare division. It's not in any of the others. That's the great thing about the rares. That's where I've been mainly focusing the last 3 or 4 months since I've been on the platform. So same with rares though, you've got All-Star Rare Pro. The All-Star Rare Pro is where you can submit 2 super rares, as you guys could see by this. So you can submit 3 rares, 2 super rares. Quite expensive, but again, you can win sick rewards from that. Under 23, similar to the limited one. Under 23 Rare Pro, again, 2 super rares. Champion Europe, Challenger Europe, America, and Asia. And it's the same with the super rares as well. I can't actually look at it because I don't own any super rares. And then unique, that's usually the really rich people that enter them leagues. And there is also a mixed competition as well, which the mix is really key. So let's say you've just started out, you've submitted your common team. So I've submitted this common team right here. So we've got Nopper, Tomori, Hatanaka, Royce and Neymar. Now, as you guys can see, I've got all these goalkeepers left. I've got all these defenders left that I haven't chose, all these midfielders. Now, I know you guys are not going to have this many commons yet. As you grind the game, you will. But you might have a spare 5 or 6, 7 players when you first start out. That is where training is key. So the way you get experience, so as you guys could tell by my XP with Ginter, with all these players that have an experience boost on 5%, 7%, 9%. So the way you increase their experience, if you click on their card, scroll down the level, you either use them in the common league or whatever. And then all the spare cards that you're not using, you want to go to the training section and add a team. So whack in all the players that aren't going to play. Any limiteds that I don't use as well, you just chuck in and you can make as many training teams as you possibly can. And this is absolutely essential because XP is key. If you want extra points, so many times I have finished like 2 or 3 points off a tier 1. It's not as key for commons, but especially if you're going to start getting into the money side of Sorare, getting good XP on your limited cards, your rare cards and stuff like that, it is essential. When you first buy a card from this season, they come with a 5% boost by default, so you're not going to grind them from 0%. They're always going to have some percent. So Galashi, I bought him when he had 5% boost. I've grinded him up to 8% now, which is pretty decent. I've got Sinistera on 8%, Smolov's on 7%, which is pretty decent. But yeah, basically, if I don't use them in the game week, in my main limited team, whatever, I'll chuck them in this training lineup. Chuck out that, and you can make as many training lineups as possible. I usually have about 10 training lineups-ish. So the more you grind the casual league, like I said, if I quickly show you the prize pool in the casual league, the common league, this is how you win money as well. So click on the prize pool once again on the left. Go to casual league. the top 3 can earn money back, which is very sick. The likelihood of you winning is very slim, of course, because again, you got to come top 3 out of about 100,000, so it's going to be very tough. But you could actually win. Like, a tier 1's very good, tier 2's not bad, so it could be like a £30 reward or something. But even still, like I said at the start of the video, even if you have the worst week ever in the common league, from 50% to 100%, you get a tier 2 common. So it might not be the best common, but you're still going to get one, and he probably will play as well, so it's not too bad. I've actually had some decent tier 2s. I think I got Griffo from Freiburg, and I've been using him a lot recently, so some tier 2s can actually help you a lot. If you actually come top 50% out of however many people enter, you can get a tier 1 common, which obviously you'll build your gallery up more and more, and tier 1s can be pretty decent as well. I actually got Tomori as a tier 1. Now the price pool changes every week depending on how they're performing in real life. You could get Pereira. Pereira's usually a good scorer. Brozovic is a really good scorer, so if you got Brozovic as a tier 1, 82 out of 100 points is great. 76, incredible. He'd be a sick one to get. And then what we're all aiming for, even I get happy if I get a star common. I've had probably about 4 or 5 star commons in 3 or 4 months, so which is not bad. Usually I find that in the midweeks, so not on the weekends but the midweeks, usually that's the easiest time to win a star common, because there's not as many players playing or teams playing. So if you've got a full 5 out, it's a lot easier to win, because sometimes only 4 players might be able to play, and then you've got to have 1 DNP / did not play. That's what DNP stands for. And then finally, I'll quickly show you around the My Club section. So if you click on My Club, this is basically called your gallery. I know it's called My Club there, but a lot of people call it their gallery. That's what you call it on Sorare, really. The default home section, my username is MuzzTV_rare. That's my username. My team name is MuzzFC. What a team name. I've linked my Discord and my Twitter, which I'm not going to go into too much depth because I feel like I'll make this too complicated. But basically, if people want to buy some of my cards that I'm selling, I'm actually trying to sell Ginter at the minute, actually. So if people want to buy them off me, they can message me on Twitter or Discord, and it makes it a lot easier to communicate, basically. So having them 2 links I think it's essential, really. I really do. Hall of Fame. That's just a flex. You can flex who your favourite cards are or whatever. Jose Font the Beast, probably one of my favourite rare cards that I've bought, to be fair. Very surprising as well behind that. And then a lot of this isn't really, I don't really look at this too much down there. The cards, this is where all my cards, I'm going to have a quick show. I'll flex some of my cards. As you guys can see, there's a trophy. So this was a reward I won from last game week. He's only worth like £1, which I'll still take. A reward's a reward. But it's okay. This is the common I got for, I think it was a tier 1 common I won last week. This is an MLS player, and he scores okay, to be fair, so through the summer he'll be decent to use. Smolov I've brought in recently, so if it's a blue arrows going like this, that means you have bought them from a different manager. So if you go to market and then manager sales, that's a different manager you've bought them from. So I bought Smolov for the Nations League. So the Nations League is going to come up in the next month or so, and he's got insane fixtures for Russia. So, and he's quite affordable as well. He's only like £20 or £30, so not too bad. And then Combs and Olsen, both from Ghent. This is me planning for next season. So my gallery right now, I'm going to show you roughly, but a lot of it's going to change over the next 3 or 4 months. I'm shifting from the Champion Europe, so the top 5 leagues, the Bundesliga and stuff. I'm going to the Belgian Pro League next year for many reasons. I'll get into briefly in a second, but I'll quickly show you the rest of my gallery. But they were both transferred for decent prices as well. I packed Royce last week, who is incredible. What a scorer Royce is. I think I got him as a tier 1 as well. It might even, yeah, it was a tier 1, I believe. So it's not even a star, so you can get some good tier 1s. Hatanaka, a decent Asian League defender, not bad. Lee Chang-min, midfielder. Acosta was a sick buy from the MLS. He's an incredible scorer as well. I've got him in limited. Love to see that. Lindstrom, I actually won as my reward. He was the best reward I have won to date. He was worth about £80 at the time. Just my luck. In the exact same week I got him, he actually got injured and he went down quite a bit in price. So I'm sort of just keeping hold of him now. I might have to keep hold of him till next season, which I'm fine with because he's a good player, to be fair. Then we've got Veto Ferreira. What a player he is as well. Great scorer. We've got Rossi, Mkhitaryan, Galashi. Willie Orban, Beltran, Von Moose, Jago, Kunde. I'd say Kunde is probably top 3 favourite cards. Probably my second best card in the club, I'd say. 100%. What a player. What a player. I hope he comes to Chelsea as well. Neymar, of course, Tomori, Gavadio we've got. Gavadio's a bit of a beast as well. Did kill me though. Oh, I want to show you. So last game week, I did unbelievable. Look, we got a Koi 50, which is respectable. I had Kunde's captain who got me 92 points. I had Beltran who did okay with 54. Sinistera, of course, delivers with an 87. So I was on 283 points altogether with Gavadio left to play, and Gavadio had I think the knee injury, and he did not play, so he didn't get me any points. So sadly, I only finished 17 points away from a tier 3, which Gavadio usually scores like 60 or 70, so I think I would have probably won a tier 2 limited, which is it's gutting to be fair, but yeah, sometimes you can't avoid DMPs. Sometimes players do get injured, and that's part of the risk of Sorare, boys. Like, a player could get injured, a player could retire, and they might have no utility for a little while anyway. Sinistera, probably my best card in the club. What a player. Can score unbelievably high. Sinistera can. Pedri's out injured right now. I've lost a lot of money on him. I paid 700 quid for him. He actually got injured about 2 weeks after I bought him. Just so unfortunate. But Pedri's a long-term buy anyway, so I don't mind. He'll bag me rewards, I'm sure. Akoi, he's actually going back to Watford next season, so looking forward to seeing how he performs. Bill Toluma's an MLS defender as a rare, and then some of these cards I've owned for about 3 months now. Benjamin Andre from Lille. We've also got Jose Font from Lille, who's probably my best buy in terms of rare. Fairly cheap, and he just scores like, I know they're not the best scores, but in terms of rares, the amount of rares that I bought, like Geiger, I paid £300 for. He has barely played. Font has played almost every single week, which is, I can't express enough how important having a player that plays every single week or as much as possible. Hopefully they're not injury prone, hopefully they don't get rotated. And Jose Font, even though he's 38 years of age right now, he literally plays every minute of every game. Touch wood, he keeps it up. And then Idrissi and Ginter. And then there's a few of my commons. We got Trent to start off, actually. My starter pack was quite good, actually. When I first started 4 months ago, we got Kelleher, Lenormand, Mane, William Carvalho, Allison, who I've now got 10% boost on, Hasbala, Reyes, Shawai, Trent, Divock, Chamberlain, and then, yeah, that was it. And then these are rewards. So I thought I'd end the video on just showing some of my gallery. Again, I think a lot of these, almost every single one of these rares, apart from the Ghent players and the Belgian Pro League players, they're all going to get sold over the next few months, and we're going to start changing into the Belgian Pro League. So yeah, I've talked a lot in this video. I hope I've covered a lot of angles. I will make a lot more videos, probably of the more in-depth things, like, for example, this site that I went onto. You guys are probably wondering where the hell I've got this from. This is a third-party website, basically, called Sorare Data. You can't really play Sorare without Sorare Data. If you play FIFA, it's like Footbin, basically. It has all the in-depth stats. It's where I scout all the players. As you guys can see, let me get rid of the webcam. It says scout. I scout a lot of my players here. You can do all sorts on here. You can type in any player, let's say Mbappe, and you can see all his scores, which is just, and you can see his recent price as well. So knowing what price to buy them at, you can have a look at the 3 month price average and stuff like that, 6 month. So you can see his peak was at 23,000. Someone paid for him. Someone paid as low as £13,000. So you can have a look at all that data. You can go to SO5 scores. SO5 scores is what they score each week. So the most recent week he's got 73 points. The game week before that he got 97. So yeah, Mbappe is an incredible scorer, and Sorare Data is an incredible site. Again, I will go into more detail future videos, but yeah, before we do end, if you have any questions whatsoever, do ask me down in the comments, boys, because this is a lot of talking, a lot of information. So yeah, when you're first getting started, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but I tend to find within the first week or few days or so, you get the hang of most of the basics, to be fair. But don't forget to use my link as well, boys, for the extra free limited. That'd be massively appreciated if you could use my link as well, because it will help me out as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you guys could drop a like, that would be appreciated. If you are already playing Sorare, good luck in the up and coming game week. Let me know how your game week's actually going. I am actually on track for a reward this week. I'm nearly going to get a threshold as well. Look what I'm on, 176 points. I'm hoping to just hit the first threshold for a midweek. I'll take it. Don't know if Idrissi will play, but in under 23, another DMP. But I think I'm going to win a reward for a midweek. Sinistera got fully dropped, like fully rested this game week, which was painful because I could have won a pretty good reward this week. But that's Sorare. Sometimes you get DMPs, it's a little bit unlucky, but the good thing about Sorare, even if you have a bad game week, you go on to the next one and you could win big the next game week. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you guys could drop a like, that'd be appreciated. Any questions, do let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.